Right guys, welcome back. Another afternoon in the garage. So, I finally finished the old Fiesta. As you may have watched the video, you may not have. But at last, I'm back on with the van. So, I'm going to be working on the worktop today. So, here we have it, and I think it looks wonderful. It's just like black speckle. So, I'm really hoping it's going to look nice when it goes in there. And yesterday I traced around my template, so we've marked the line around it somewhere. There it is. And so what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to cut it out with a jigsaw to nearly to the size, and then what I'll do is I'll put the template on and I'm going to router it out, other than this edge, because this edge I've had to leave a little bit bigger than I made a little bit of a mistake with the template, and I needed about another 10mm on this side of it. So I've done that, and also I had to make another little jig for the worktop there, because my original one come around there and that was okay, but because this extends out it needs to be scribed into the wall of the van a little bit more. So let's get the jigsaw out and see if we can get this cut out and not ruin it. Tabletop, so that's going to be handy. Right, so that's got that worktop cut out roughly. Now I'm going to get the jig back on top of here, set the router up, and we'll be able to do our final trims around this with the trim bit of the router. So let's get that set up right now. Right, so that's got most of it routed out, trimmed off. So what I've got to do now is I need to set up for this radius that's inside there, on the inside corner. So I've got to do a little bit of trickery on there, and I've got to adjust the template so we cut this end off and scribe in that corner. So I'm just going to get that set up and then we'll continue routering this out. Right, so finally I've got this edge set up now. I'm going to clean this up around that radius and then down this side, and then we'll get on with doing this other little scribe in the corner here afterwards. But for now, let's get this cut up. Right, that's got that done. Let's flip it back over and get it set up to take this piece off, and then we can do that radius. Yeah, nice, I like it. So next job, what I've got to do is I've got to scribe this, not scribe it, but I've got to cut this radius out. We've already got these pretty straight, so I thought what I'd do is I use the template of the hob here, and we've got a lovely radius inside that corner, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to run round that, and that will give us a nice internal radius. That will finish that edge off really nice. So when our T-trim goes on there, that's going to look the dog's bits, that is. So anyway, I'm going to get this set up now and then router that little bit out. really married up nice. Weren't too sure how that'd go, but better than expected. So let's get this lot unclamped and have a proper look at it. Right guys, so that's the outside of the worktop done. That last radius we done come out absolutely gorgeous, as did pretty much all the other radiuses. They come out pretty nice. Our scribes come out pretty good. So what we've got to do now is we're going to have to lay out the hole that we're going to cut for the hob, which obviously I've got my template again over there. I can't stress, if you start building furniture for your van, if you mock everything up with templates first of all, bit of MDF, you know, I think 9mm MDF, that's all you want, and then you can make everything template out of there, and all you've got to do is cut around it basically. It's not too difficult, even for someone that's never done any woodwork. Right, so now we've got the worktop all trimmed into the size we want. What I've got to do is I've got to cut the hole for the hob. So I've just got the guide bush and put it in the router, and I'm just going to go ahead, fit the 6.3mm bit, and then we're going to crack on with cutting the hole out for the hob. So let's get this bit installed and then start cutting this hole out. So I've gone ahead, I've set the router up to the right depth, and then what I've done is I've used my little depth gauge on here, so I can take a maximum of 5 bites out of this 15mm furniture board, and that will get us to cut right through. So let's get it plugged in and see if we can cut this hole. Right, so, moment of truth. Oh, wouldn't you know it? That's that bit done. So, on with the next job. So, what I'm going to do now is I've just put one hole in here. I'm just going to jigsaw this out and then get the sink fitted in there. Right, so after a bit of finesse and a bit of oohing and ahhing, we've got a kitchen sink. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sit this to one side at the moment, and I'm going to continue working on the hinges for this, and we're going to get all this trim on. Hopefully I've got enough, but for now I'm going to get this out and I'm going to start setting out the hinges on this opening. So let's crack on and do that. Right, so just laying the hinges out now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish scribing this line through here, mark my hinges with the hinge gauge, and then this centre part I'm going to take out, get me forcing a bit, go over onto the pedestal drill and get these bits sunk into there. Right, so my holes are done for my hinges. All I need to do now is get me 2mm router bit in and put my slot in the outside of there and the inside of there, and then we can get our T-trim on, and then we can set these hinges in place. Right, so I've got the routering done now around the worktop. All I've got to do is, next job, put the T-trim on. So let's crack on with that. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough knock-on trim, so bit of a schoolboy error. So what I decided to do is I decided to trim the inside of this, that way I can put the hinges on, that get the centre part done, and then all I have to do, I've placed an order now, but it's not going to be here till the end of next week, which is really annoying. But so I'll be able to get the hinges on this, and at least I'll be able to sit it in there and, you know, see how it all works and make sure it's okay. And then when I get the rest of the trim, I can knock that on, put the sink in, and then crack on with some other stuff. What I'm going to do now is I've got this little, it's actually off one of the push button catches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sink a hole into the worktop so that once it's closed I can poke my finger through there and hopefully not get it stuck, because it is quite small, but my little finger goes through there. I don't really want to make it any bigger. If I make it any bigger I might lose something down inside it. Don't want to do that either. So that is going to be not a bad little size. So I'm going to drill that 20mm hole and then pop that in there. So once we fit our hinges we'll be able to lift our door up and down. So let's drill this hole. Yeah, fit out. When I find it, didgeridoo. Right, so a little bit of time messing around with the hinges, getting the hinges set into where I wanted them and adjusting them. But I've got it in the van and I'm well pleased. So let's take a look. I'm really pleased with it. Be nice to see the trim when it goes on all the way around here. But got me sink in as well, so that's a plus. So I'm really just waiting on that trim. It's a real shame I didn't actually realise I didn't have enough trim, but it's not the end of the world. So I mean, this is a great job to get done. This, really pleased with it. I mean, the lid shuts nice, got even a soft close on the lid, so that's going to give us a lot more working space here. And also out of this board I've got the spare piece of material that I had from this board, and I'm going to make a table for that, and I'm not sure exactly how big the table is going to be. I think I'm going to get a Laguna table leg. Not the cheapest leg in the world, but who cares. I think we've come this far with the van. At this point it doesn't really matter. So for today, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. So if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it the big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, you might want to think about subscribing. I'm going to be coming to the end of this van build soon. When I say soon, there's still actually quite a lot more to do, and I've got a few more projects in the pipeline. So that's it for now, guys, and see you on the next one.